Bills won the toss, want the ball, so we'll see the rookie quarterback right away. And Underwood. Brandon Tate from the goal line. Tate up the sideline, up across the 25-yard line. Already an extra lineman in on first down from the 25, and it is McCoy. And he is knocked backwards, likely to lose yardage. Corey Legion.
180!
McCoy across the 31-32-yard line, and it'll bring up a third down. They need to get to the 35 against it. Will he put it up on 3rd and 3? Looks like it will, and the catch made right at, that's Charles Clay, right at what would be a first down. The official pointing forward as if it's good enough for a first down, and it is.
180!
Peterman from the pocket on target. Kelvin Benjamin inside the 45 of the Chargers. For his ACL in practices, was holding his knee as he left the field. We'll check on that injury as Peterman takes off the run and gets to the 40. Buffalo sideline.
180!
Peterman rolling and throwing off the hands of DeMarco and intercepted. Patrick DeMarco couldn't hold it. Corey Toomer has it. And down the sideline he tightropes. Corey Toomer. And the officials are taking a closer look, but right there he may have, as the official did not call him out. So it's an official review on the scoring play.
By the front, they run the bootleg, and here's Corey Toomer at the end. You take, that's the one right there that they're going to be taking a long, hard look at now. Is there enough evidence to show that his foot is actually in the white? Because he does a good job right there,
and he also
of getting back into play.
And they wait. It's funny, Daryl. They waited to give.
After reviewing the play, the ruling stands as called. Touchdown.
Returns 59 yards for a touchdown, and the Chargers, Nick Novak for the extra point, and it's a 7-0 game for the Bills here in Southern California. Brandon Tate back to receive, and he's coming out of the end zone with it. And stopped short of the 20-yard line on a flag. Flags him from playing an entire season.
During the return, holding, return team number 18, half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10.
Get some good momentum going for their side.
McCoy, and straight ahead, acted some of those key names in today's game. On 2nd down, Peterman, sideline throw for Holmes and overthrows. On pass rushers that will come after the rookie, and they do. He floats one, and that's intercepted across the 25-yard line. Casey Howard, there's a flag down as Casey Howard.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, offense number 73. Penalties declined, 1st and 10, Los Angeles. 380!
Spotted at the Buffalo 31. It's a Keenan Allen handoff from his receiver spot. He gets inside the 28-yard line. Well, the Chargers have been the offense just has not put up a lot of points. Rivers, low throw is incomplete. Trying to get to Hunter Henry.
And how you approach the concussion. Great job, Philip Rivers.
On 3rd down from the pocket and open and overthrows Keenan Allen. The defender had fallen down. 4 out of 6. This will be from 46 yards away. The kick is not good. That is not good.
180!
Best field position for Peterman. McCoy the handoff, and his best run of the day. LaShawn McCoy is in the clear and inside the 30 of the Chargers. 2 games after he had a season high 151. And he's got inside the 20. McCoy has a Buffalo touchdown.
Way to hold that. That was well done, Chris. Both guys pulling on that left side. They do a great job getting outside and kicking everything out. They just downfield.
For you to say. 4th touchdown run of the season for LaShawn McCoy.
a great job by that left side of the Bills offensive line on both of those long runs.
Hauska kicking off. Desmond King in the end zone will down it. 25-yard line is where the Charger offense will come out to. Melvin Gordon across the 25-yard line. This Charger offense, you know, I mentioned he had 3 and 6. Given the talent on this team,
Ran hurt earlier this year, so it's been a shakeup in those 5 guys up front.
There's Keenan Allen. He's got a first down and across the 42-yard line.
Without a lot of your elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
To throw and open. Hunter Henry with the catch at a first down inside the 45 of Buffalo.
A bit more depth in his pass drop to impact that throw.
Pick up of 15 yards, and Melvin Gordon with a strong run down to the 36 and a half. New Orleans keeps rolling. And it is Austin Ekeler who's got a first down inside the 30.
See how well they practice during the course of the week.
A lot of missed tackles in those last 2 games. Gordon the handoff, and there's a good tackle right there.
Delta!
They were a no-go. We heard a Delta pressure on it, had to get rid of it. Incomplete. Rivers gets knocked to the turf. Ekeler is the back. Time for Rivers, and completes. Tyrell Williams. Can he get the first down? Leaping and spinning inside the 20.
You see the athleticism out on the football field every Sunday. It's amazing. I mean, you'd be able to go up and over Micah Hyde like that, coming in for a tackle. He didn't go down low. I mean, look at the elevation right there by Tyrell Williams.
Christmas tree for only $198 at the Lowe's pre-Black Friday deals event.
Quick handoff to Melvin Gordon. He gets knocked down around the 15-yard line. Rivers floating one and incomplete for Mike Williams. On third down, open, incomplete, knocked away at the last moment. Hunter Henry was the target, but Jordan Poyer was there.
Bailed out towards the middle of the field, and that's exactly where he was trying to go, to Hunter Henry.
Pass incomplete, 4 out of 9 so far. Rivers, so no. To give the Chargers the lead. And this one is good.
Expect him to go out and play the same. I love that part of him.
That's who he is. That's who he's been. And his team is up 3. Brandon Tate will get another opportunity. Coming out of the end zone. Gets a hole, spins through that. Knocked down just short of the 25-yard line.
2 poor games. A lot of people look at the defense, but the offense was not playing their complementary role.
That pass is complete to Charles Clay. And already we've seen, that's the scoring for Buffalo. Travaris Cadet has a first down, and in his first activity as a member of the Bills, the Chargers prepared for both quarterbacks, so there are some packages, for Tyrod Taylor. Thank you, Lores. That is a loss.
Aggressive in taking some chances down the field.
Sean McCoy into a crowd. It'll bring up now third down and long. Pressure coming. Peterman hit, and that is his 3rd interception of the day. Trey Boston has it for a Charger takeaway down to the 46-yard line of Buffalo. Austin Ekeler, the running back, splits out as a receiver. And Rivers. That ball is in the air and caught by the Chargers. He was hit. And the Chargers keep control of it, and Rivers is throwing again. Catch made. Keenan Allen.
Situation 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. They have really struggled.
Rivers to throw, and does, and gets the first down to Keenan Allen. Wrestled to the ground eventually. In extra lineman situations. Gordon. And the Bills smother him right away. Ramon Humbert. After a loss of 1, extra pressure. And pass complete for a first down. It's Keenan Allen again. Rivers. Catch made. End zone. Keenan Allen. Touchdown Chargers.
He's going to be coming from right here. Watch the position on the throw by Phillip Rivers. Leonard Johnson doesn't get his head around, and watch this get onto that back shoulder, a little bit more space out there.
For Phillip Rivers and Nick Novak to add the extra point. It's now a 10-point Charger lead. Key on that drive. Chargers get their first offensive touchdown of the day. Brandon Tate is tripped up short of the 15-yard line.
180!
Pass is that almost? Did he pick that off? Casey Hayward may have another interception. Clean pick from what you could see on the ball. I mean, Hayward made a heck of an
Absolutely. No, it's definitely a clean pick. It's a bad location by Nate Peterman. It's a great jump on the ball.
A good question about the Bills on offense, where they go next. Can their defense keep the Chargers out of the end zone? Melvin Gordon fighting hard to get inside the 10-yard line. Antonio Gates blocking for Melvin Gordon. Fights hard to get closer to the first down, and the 5-yard line is a little bit short.
Got a heavy formation to the right.
Gordon goes to the right, and looks like that surge is enough for a first down. And as the pile moves forward, it'll be first and goal for the Chargers. Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen. Did he get in? Touchdown Chargers! Just reaching across the goal line.
Keep an eye on that left knee. Down now.
Wow, that's close.
Previous play will be reviewed.
Now, I had that discussion with an umpire one
Yes,
time.
and what
He
did
says
he
that's
say?
not true. The
That's
tie
it.
does not go to the runner. It's what I see. Did I see him safe, or did I see him out?
Okay, well, here they
So
saw
we'll
it.
bring in.
Arm got down, but that's the other thing that they're going to
After
look
reviewing
at.
the play,
Here's a call.
moving stands as called.
right.
Touchdown.
All right, so that's Booth 1, Pereira nothing today. All right, but thanks, Mike. Count the touchdown run. After the catch by Change, because he thought the offense needed something to go downfield, but he certainly didn't want the interceptions that Peterman has suffered through the first passes, 4 completions, 4 interceptions. And LaShawn McCoy in trouble back at the 22 as Trevor Williams is the defensive coordinator for Anthony Lynn, and Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, former head coach of the NFL. Peterman completes. Deontay Thompson, who had the breakout game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Peterman on the run, and dangerously close to being intercepted by Hayward. Colton Schmidt back to punt. Travis Benjamin, who has a return for a touchdown this year, fastest Charger on the field, has this and is knocked down right away. Terrific special teams play as he's shoved back to the 21. Shamarko Thomas on a first down, and Rivers to throw. Hit as he throws, but open at the 44-yard line for a first down catch is Travis Benjamin. 24 at the moment. Tough run for Melvin Gordon. Let's get a game break with Carissa. Standings that Anthony Lynn has drawn up. Gordon shakes loose, and Melvin Gordon spinning to the 37.5-yard line of Buffalo. Austin Eckler is in. Pressure on Rivers. He just dumps it off to Travis Benjamin, who is behind him, and makes something out of that, getting around the 30-yard line.
The right side.
Benjamin in motion. Melvin Gordon the carry, and he breaks through. Gordon down around the 10 of Buffalo. He is running strong today. Going to have to carry today. Give it to him again. Good ankle tackle as he gets inside the 10-yard line. Gordon. Rivers on second down. High end zone catch dropped. Oh, he had it in his hands.
For the Chargers, You show them a little bit of motion, get everybody looking that way, and then you've got Antonio Gates on the little skinny post.
Austin Eckler spits to the right of Rivers. He has time. Corner of the end zone. And Hunter Henry can't hang on. Offensive stand for the Bills. And this kick is good.
To get his team pointed in the right direction. And I thought LeSean McCoy made a really good point that is it a good decision? Is it a bad decision? I don't know. We'll find out. I don't have time to worry about that because I've got to prepare to play the game. Now,
for Peterman with the 4 interceptions. See if he can work his way through it. There's McCoy. He's working his way through the Chargers.
A rookie quarterback, that speed and that ability of that front here.
Drops the snap. Peterman goes down. It was a no huddle offense. Recovered the fumble.
And he just didn't make the catch. A little slow getting back there, but he had his eyes on it. 3rd and long situations.
Blitz coming, picked up for the moment, and that pass incomplete. Colton Schmidt and waving everybody away as this goes way out of bounds. Tough to gauge. The official down the sideline watching it.
Yeah, this one's going to be coming back a long way.
He's all the way up to the 40 and the 42 of the Chargers. 40. Melvin Gordon slowed this time to 27 points so far for the Chargers. Gordon
have his opinions as well.
Blitz coming. Rivers throwing. There's Keenan Allen inside the 40 of Buffalo.
380. Behind.
Rivers with a bullet to Allen. Keenan Allen, middle of the field. He's racing towards the 10 of Buffalo. It'll be 1st and goal for the Chargers. Melvin Gordon turns the corner. Melvin Gordon is a touchdown maker for the Chargers.
Ramon Humber right here. He's got a track. You're going to see right there a little bit of contact right there. Melvin Gordon out leveraging a little bit of a stiff arm, turns the corner. He has looked as good as I've seen him the last couple of weeks.
A 10-yard run hit for his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Novak with the extra point. And
Chargers lost. I mean, it's shocking to see it.
But here, not close, and they're making sure, keeping their playoff hopes alive against a team that was in position for a playoff run. As that return by Tate up across the 25-yard line. Hesitant or skeptical about making this decision to start him now in this game on the road. Nice completion there from Peterman. First down to Deontay Thompson. For the Bills was the LeSean McCoy run. That gain good for 19 yards. And that's the 5th interception today thrown by Peterman. Trevor Williams with his first of this game. And we're going to have to ask Sean McDermott at the half if, as that pass is completed inside the 45, Hunter Henry with a first down, if Sean McDermott is considering bringing in Tyrod Taylor.
Fortunately for Bills fans, we're seeing the potential results of that here in the first half.
Phillip Rivers trying to get more. Middle of the field is open for Eckler. And the feisty with a first down catch. Our Fox Studios, just head up the freeway, and there they are. The Visa halftime report coming up with Kurt and the guys. That's another first down catch. Keenan Allen at the 21 of Buffalo. Rivers and out of bounds. C.J. Gaines would have had the interception had he been inbounds to bring an end to the half. And the Chargers will get the ball to start the second half. Or I should say Buffalo will be kicking off to the Chargers to start. Dominant first half by the hometown Chargers. a 30-point lead and receiving the football. They'll come out to the 25-yard line. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers. Hope you're enjoying
Nate Peterman in this game.
Will we see Tyrod Taylor when Buffalo is on offense? Rivers comes out throwing, and Keenan Allen, what a first half he's had, and continuing in the second half with his 10th catch of the game. They'll have to make the decision soon as Gordon slips a tackle, and then an ankle tackle. By the way, the Chargers, that's the other side of this. Good news for them, because this season until today is an offensive explosion, of course, benefiting from those interceptions. And that catch, Mike Williams, and Breeze and Aaron Rodgers. Phillip hasn't been to a Super Bowl as he gives to Derek Watt, the fullback, powering his way for a first down. Rivers to Melvin Gordon. Inside the 23. Rivers, and incomplete for Gordon. And Keenan Allen, first and goal Chargers. They have not responded well. Gordon hit hard there and brought down by Ramon Humber. But they ran into a good Charger team. Playing well today. Rivers overthrown.
A couple of the assistant coaches on that staff. You add some talent, but it just hasn't come together until today.
Rivers, incomplete. Trying to go to Gates. And Novak nails it. The Chargers have hit the 40-point mark. And the Chargers kicking off with a 40-7 lead. Brandon Tate from the 6-yard line. And stopped as he got up across the 20-yard line.
Got an advised move from ownership. This is my decision, mine alone. And it didn't work out. So now we'll see what happens here.
LaShawn McCoy is happening as he runs all the way into Charger territory.
It's kind of, it's not designed around Tyrod Taylor.
Cadet with the carry. McCoy over 100 yards rushing, by the way.
Taylor able to come back out, and it doesn't have an impact on the other 10 guys.
Taylor's pass low and incomplete.
Interceptions. Two are probably going to be on Nate Peterman.
Here comes the flag.
We've seen, we got a little extracurricular. We got them separated.
Ball start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, third down.
And the call on Jordan Mills there. Third and 12, the blitz coming on Tyrod Taylor. Floats one, a catch made by Charles Clay, and that's going to be good enough for a first down.
When they fell behind, you made the point. Maybe too many checkdowns, but in a catch-up situation, too many short passes.
And he brings the mobility here, throwing on the run back of the end zone for Andre Holmes, and that is out of the end zone and incomplete. Or Bills fans want their team to have some success. LaShawn McCoy. Ball comes out, but he got it back at the end of that play.
For sustainable success. If that means number 5 going back in, that means number 5 going back in.
And there's number 5 on the move, throwing and incomplete. A 50-yard try. And it's got it.
A big transitional makeover for a franchise.
Desmond King from the 5-yard line. Five out of 6, by the way, in the field goal department for Hauschka. Rivers era, they've been the NFL's 4th highest scoring team, averaging over 25 a game, as Melvin Gordon continues his strong day. Rivers throw complete. Keenan Allen. And let's check in for a game break with Kurt Benefit. This point of November. Gordon knocked down right away. Laura? Thank you. Austin Eckler steps in. 80 yards rushing for Gordon, by the way. And Rivers sideline throw, mix up there in the area of Mike Williams. So a free play maybe.
5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
So
380.
3rd and 6. Rivers pass caught short of the first down. It's Mike Williams right at the 40.
May have caused the symptoms, and Ken Wisenhunt was in constant communication with him during the game, and he didn't notice anything while he had a conversation with him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that decision.
Brandon Tate knocked down at the 17-yard line. First punt.
You just talked to Laura about. That's a heck of an afternoon up to this point for this Chargers team.
Zay Jones on the reception for Tyrod Taylor, and if you some errant throws, but Tyrod Taylor coming out in the first series of the second half. The previously bench starter. Here comes a flag after the run by McCoy across the 30 and led Buffalo to a field goal.
A tackle.
Holding, offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Taylor spins out of the pocket and incomplete.
Some stability with the guy he wants to be his quarterback moving forward.
Have 2 first-round draft picks looking toward the future, and there's one of their picks from this year, the second rounder from East Carolina. Zay Jones picks up a first down. They have a lot of draft picks to work with. Tyrod Taylor for Jones, and tipped away at the last moment by Michael Davis, the rookie who came in a mop-up role against the Saints. Lopsided, and now it's Taylor doing that as he's going to take off and run. It's a flag down, and he's knocked down and helped up at the 43 by Denzel Perryman. Boy, you got to watch out for him.
Holding, offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Backs up the Chargers at 2nd and 20. Taylor incomplete. Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Look out, Tyrod Taylor. Dumps it off to Travaris Cadet and gets a lot of that yardage back. Taylor hit, and the ball's out. That's a fumbled football, and the Chargers have it. Melvin Ingram. It's going to be a Charger touchdown. And Joey Bosa knocked it out.
Watch him. He's going to be coming from the left side. There he is, 99. And just Tyrod Taylor has to have that mental clock in his head. And he has to know that Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram are on that field, and you can't hold the ball that long.
A 38-yard return of the fumble created by Bosa, and Ingram said, you know, I roll out of bed ready to attack.
Every day's game day for Melvin.
Every night's the Super Bowl. And Brandon Tate on the return. Big play Charger defense. They've got 2 of those today. 6 takeaways for the Charger defense and 2 scores.
Sides of the ball.
And that's what quarterbacks have to worry about when they see Bosa and Ingram in this Charger defense. Cadet from Tyrod Taylor. And nice work by Cadet. Get up near a first down, work on that sideline.
Receiver core are more big physical receivers that are going to be contested throw guys. Deontay Thompson, really your one speed guy on the outside. So
after a pickup of 9, Tyrod Taylor keeps and has a lot of room to run and glides his way to the 25 of the Chargers, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Taylor's throw is on target. Nice catch. Andre Holmes holds that in. Bills trying to get some points and make it look a little better than the 47-10 that's up there now. Incomplete as a flag down. Taylor was going for Charles Clay.
Best case scenario.
Defense. Number 37, automatic first down, spotted a foul.
Nate Peterman's not going to be your starting quarterback moving forward.
It was controversial to go to the bench as well as one could. Taylor keeps Tyrod Taylor, end zone, and he did not get in.
Yeah, he's got it in his right hand.
The official right there. McCoy goes nowhere. Melvin Ingram made sure. Has gone back to Tyrod Taylor at quarterback on 3rd and goal. Touchdown Buffalo. There's a flag down. Charles Clay is in the end zone.
Pass interference offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty replay, 3rd down.
There's a good way to release off the ball. A couple steps. Wham! I'm open.
3rd and goal from the 12. End zone. Charles Clay couldn't hold it. Taylor's throw. LeSean McCoy with a touchdown catch for Buffalo.
LeSean McCoy coming out of the backfield. Just running a little corner route.
And that is first reception today. Good for a touchdown. And the extra point. Touchdown pass. See if they try an onside kick or... And they do drop one in there. It's a live ball. Chargers on it. Chargers had lined up when the concussion protocol issues surfaced with Rivers. He's going to throw one here. And held on to by Jeff Cumberland. It's hoping to find its way back, and they'll be back in the playoff hunt. If they count this win, hold on here to get their 4th win because of some of the other results. Austin Eckler.
Would have loved to play with Philip Rivers. I think it'd have been a blast.
Hand off Eckler.
Had a pretty good one though.
Yeah,
good one. I wouldn't trade him for
that guy
anybody,
they
though.
call 8-ball, right? That's what you got, Troy Aikman.
I tell you, Dallas better hope their left tackle situation shores up with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa coming to town.
Derek Watt on the carry. Saw that Viking. The Lions won today in Chicago. Clemens throw and catch made inside the 35-yard line. Mike Williams. Yeah, Sean McDermott. Eckler. And he's brought down around the 32-yard line. High standard just because you won 3 Super Bowls. I mean, not everybody carries that around with them. And that's completed. Clemens to Sean McGrath. Austin Eckler. He's loose for a Charger touchdown.
Kyle Williams, that's going to open the hole, but watch 36 as 36 comes in. And it just got to recognize.
The extra point is good. Still have almost 8 minutes to play. Brandon Tate.
Snow showers to start the game. They have a tough day, and you just salt the wound with some Music City Miracle.
We have to represent the West Coast and the Buffalo Bills. So there's a nice connection to Zay Jones from Tyrod Taylor. And you touched on it in the last series that if you can look for some good out of this, and look, the Bills.
Tyrod Taylor this game than I did last week against the Saints in a very similar situation.
Yeah, again, it's a mop-up roll in a sense that it's lopsided as Cadet gets down around the 35. You know, and in defensive, 54 here, and the blowout by the Jets. The defense has to step up if the Bills are to turn it around as well.
Start to the season just has really struggled these last 3 weeks now.
It's like an old AFL game with the points we're seeing scored now. Nick O'Leary, interceptions. Tyrod Taylor came in the second half, 10 of 17 with a touchdown and over 140 yards. There's a first down connection to Zay Jones.
And he gets down, protects himself. Good throw and catch.
Chargers converged on Cadet.
And a little bit of a adjustment period between the offensive coaches to get to the point where they got to today. But you know, you stay
wild card or a playoff team in the AFC. Pass is caught. Road. Good point, and that's what Tyrod Taylor's throw knocked away. Probably one of the reasons that Sean McDermott made the decision he made in the bigger picture at quarterback. Tyrod Taylor, reversal of the role from last week when he went to the bench and Peterman mopped up. Here he's come in for Peterman, waiting for this offense to get its act together, and the defense has been getting stronger every week. Tyrod Taylor scores on that defense. So he's thrown for a touchdown and run for one.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what Sean McDermott decides to do next game, because if he does evaluate every position, type situation, but I like his throws. He pressed it downfield. He threw into areas where he gave his guys an opportunity to go make a play for him. Tuesday practice was tough because I was always the sorest the second day.
Onside kick, they try it again. Chargers are on it. Tried last time and Chargers were ready. Looking on. Kellen Clemens in relief of Phillip Rivers. And Andre Williams, the 4 games this year by 3 points or fewer, the Chargers. Could be a whole different record that we're looking at as Williams carries. I thought it was interesting they have their own team psychologist that they were.
You believe in the path that Sean McDermott has taken him. That's the most important thing that he's established so far.
Clemens throw is caught by Mike Williams.
His Giants are a tough team to figure out.
Kaiser to punt. Second punt of the game for him. Fair catch called for. And you saw too that Green Bay today Cadet knocked down around the 12-yard line.
He's playing that kind of dual role for the Bills, but Travaris Cadet is an explosive guy who can go the distance anytime.
And trying to slip a tackle there. Time for Tyrod Taylor, but he's out of the pocket. And on the run. Open, the tight end, leaping for it, it just did. Overthrow Nick O'Leary.
Self-reporting aspect of what Phillip Rivers has, and that's another area that the guys take care of each other out there. There was an opportunity for a really big hit on Tyrod Taylor, and I think it was Damian Square that turned it down.
Realizing the position in the game as King takes the punt.
Doesn't hunt the ball enough times, and boy, this defense has really grown quickly in his first year as defensive coordinator.
Aguilaro had, but if there's a run in them, look out. What they've shown today. Williams around midfield. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. And Kellen Clemens to close it out for Rivers and this Chargers team.
After that Jets game, you maybe look at that and say, we were 5-2. We got out to a quick start.
Great point that Anthony Lynn has been patient with his offensive coordinator and Ken Whisenhunt, as you pointed out in the broadcast, and his quarterback to kind of, none of this is going to be my way. Let's try to do it all together what's comfortable, because he thought the offense before he got here. Stretch in the last 3 games, it's the most that Buffalo has ever allowed over a 3-game stretch. It's not all the quarterback. Sean McDermott knows his defense will have to play better. But for Rivers and the Chargers, what a show. They'll move to 4-6, and really within a game of the wild card line on the AFC. You figure that's at 5-5 with the schedule, and the Chiefs losing today in the AFC West. Who knows? Chargers made sure this wasn't a close game. And for Peterman and the Bills, they'll go back to the drawing board and try to figure things out, as Tyrod Taylor at least came off the bench to get the Bills into the end zone twice. We'll have more here from Southern California in just a moment.